Climate disruption is a seminal challenge of our generation. It affects everything from our farms to our forests to our fishing. We see the impact in disappearing glaciers, melting permafrost, shrinking ice sheets, raging forest fires, dying coral reefs, migrating animals and insects, more powerful storms. The world is changing right in front of us. It's appropriate to call this climate disruption because our climate is broken and it's affecting so many things that we value. In response, communities across the globe are transforming their energy economies, from increasing the energy efficiency of buildings, vehicles, and appliances, to replacing carbon-polluting fossil fuel energy economy with a renewable, clean energy economy. How much do you know about the changes underway? Let's find out. Welcome to episode 4 of the Senate Climate Disruption Quiz. Here we go. First question. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is at its highest level in at least how many years? Is it 88 years? Highest level in the last 8,000 years? Highest level in the last 800,000 years? Or the highest level in 80 million years? Think about your answer. The correct answer is C, 800,000 years. In September 2016, we reached a historic milestone. The carbon dioxide readings for the planet reached 400 parts per million. For perspective, before the Industrial Revolution, before we started burning fossil fuels in massive quantities, that number was about 280 parts per million. And here's something that's even scarier. The rate is going up faster and faster. Back in 1965 to 1975, it was going up about 1 part per million per year. And then a couple decades later, 2 parts per million per year. And the last 2 years, it's gone up at a rate of 3 parts per million per year. So as human civilization, we have to turn this around. We have to not only slow it down, but we have to turn it around and lower those levels of carbon dioxide if we're going to save our beautiful blue-green planet. That's the challenge before us. Question number 2. Which governor announced that he or she will hold a global climate summit here in America next year? Is the answer Jerry Brown? Is the answer Governor Rick Snyder of Michigan, Governor Susana Martinez of New Mexico, or Governor Rick Scott of Florida? The answer, now that you've decided which one you think is right, is A, Governor Jerry Brown of California. And he announced on July 6th that he will bring together entrepreneurs, mathematicians, professors, climate experts, and others from around the world in September 2018 for a summit to, quote, combat the existential threat of climate change. This meeting is being viewed as a very significant undertaking to keep the conversation going forward because in the absence of the United States being deeply involved in the Paris Agreement, the United States has to be involved in many other ways. This issue is too big, the challenge is too great for us to be sitting it out. So let's turn to question number 3. The world's first floating wind farm is being constructed off the coast of which country? Is it Germany? Is it off the coast of the United States? Is it Scotland? Or is it France? Now, I might point out when we say a floating wind farm, we're talking about a wind farm in which the seafloor is deep enough that it can't be anchored. The turbine cannot be anchored on the seafloor. So there's a little hint, a little clue. Do you have your answer? Well, the correct answer is C, Scotland. The Peterhead wind farm off the coast of Scotland is using revolutionary technology to harvest wind power in waters that are too deep for wind turbines to be anchored on the seabed. The wind farm's first turbine was just towed into place. Once finished, it will include 5 6-megawatt turbines. And by the way, those are much larger turbines than the ones we have on land here in the United States. The blades will be 246 feet long. And together, the group of turbines will be able to power 20,000 homes by the end of the installation. Maybe we'll see some of those appearing off the coast of the United States in the future. Let's turn to question number 4. Glacier National Park in 1910 had 150 glaciers. How many are there today? Are there 200? Are there 150? Are there 25? Or are there 10? What is the answer? The answer is C, 25. So here we are in just a century, and we've gone from 150 glaciers in Glacier Park to only 25 left. According to Dan Fogger, a USGS, United States Geological Service research ecologist, quote, within 20 years, the bulk of the remaining glaciers will be too small to be considered active glaciers. When these glaciers are gone, it will have a significant impact on Montana and its economy. They typically put off a significant amount of water in late August and early September. They feed streams that would otherwise dry up. They provide cool water that plays a critical role in the life cycles of both insects and fish. If you're planning to see the glaciers in Glacier Park, go soon. Let's turn to question 5. Tesla, the electric car company, is set to install the world's largest grid-scale battery in which country? Are they going to install that battery in China, in Australia, in Mexico, or in Spain? If you had time to ponder the question and develop your answer, the answer is not China, which you might expect because China is so large and is so engaged in renewable energy today, nor is it Mexico or Spain. It is Australia. Australia has embraced renewable energy. In 2016, renewable sources provided more than 17% of the country's electricity. And South Australia has raced ahead of the rest of the country in embracing renewables, particularly wind power. But until now, it hasn't been able to adequately store the energy generated by the region's wind farms. So later this year, Tesla will install the world's largest lithium-ion grid-scale battery and pair it with one of the wind farms in a major leap forward for large-scale renewable energy. The idea is that the 129 megawatt-hour battery which is capable of putting out 100 megawatts of power at a time, will help stabilize South Australia's electrical grid and provide backup power if there is a shortfall. More and more, as we have wind on the grid, as we have solar power on the grid, batteries are being turned to as a strategy to even out the flow of electricity. And so there you have it, folks. 5 questions in episode 4 of the Senate Climate Disruption Quiz. Questions ripped right from the headlines. Facts on the ground are changing fast as climate disruption increases and communities across the globe are responding. We are racing the clock. There is no time to spare. So stay engaged in the fight to save our beautiful blue-green planet. And in the near future, I'll bring you episode 5 of the Senate Climate Disruption Quiz.